Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Peace and blessings of the Lord be upon you. And I make a declaration that I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger. So, why did I say that? Well, today I thought I'd do something a little bit personal. You can get to know me a little bit, get to know my soul, if you will. I try to be open as much as I can. So as I'm giving you a little background on me, go ahead and ask some questions and I'll try to get those answered as best as I can. Any mistakes I make are my own, and I ask that God will make this a learning experience for us all. So, without further ado, I will travel back in time a little bit, and we have to go back to, well, if you want to go way back, we can go way back. I was born and raised a Christian first, and I was a believing Christian. I went to church every Sunday. I had good experiences growing up. I had no ill wind or any problems with the church at all. But as I was growing, and as a young age, I was a very spiritual person. I was a spiritual kid. I was kind of like into the transcendental meditation, even at a very young age. Why? I think all souls are called in different ways, and some people are seekers, and some people are just happy with the position they are in life. But I was one of those seekers. I was always very interested in different cultures, different peoples, different religions. I used to study and read a lot, and I learned about all the religions and belief systems and philosophies and atheisms and agnosticisms and all different deisms. And there was a progression through life. And when I was in my 20s, I started a soul search. And I went to different denominations. I was in college. And in college, I was seeking that closer relationship with the Creator, because I had maybe lost some of that. And when I would go to Bible study classes and stuff like that, and have discussions, and it was very interesting. And I went to all the different denominations. I was raised Catholic, but I went to Baptist, I went to Lutheran, Methodist, Unitarian, all different types of services, different types of Catholics. I used to attend very shortly, just a few times. I went to a Marianite church. So I was just looking and trying to find that connection. And that's very important. That's how I have to stress it. I was seeking that connection. So during all this time, I found some things that I used to listen to help me get into a certain state of consciousness. And I used to listen to different sounds. I used to listen to different types of music, different kinds of chants. And one time I just ordered, I believe, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was Adans of the World, I believe, something like this. And basically, it was the call to prayer in Islam, and it was just it was recited or said by different people from around the world. So it's very beautiful, and I'm sure you have heard it. And if you haven't, I'll try to find a link and put a link on here somehow. I'll try to figure all that out. I'll find some beautiful ones. And it was just something I listened to. I didn't know at that time, I didn't know anything about Islam. I didn't know much about Muslims. The only things I knew about Islam were two things. And it was what the media was always portraying, because I didn't grow up around Muslims at all. So they were either terrorists or a certain sect of racists. So it's just all that I knew. I didn't know any better. And so that was like one of the last things I searched out. I looked into all the different religions also. I looked into Buddhism, as I said, and Hinduism, and Judaism, and shamanism. You name it, I checked it out, right? Looking for that connection. And so what had happened was I started listening to that, to the adans, and then I ordered some different Sufi type of, different Sufi, this is CDs, I remember there being CDs, Sufi chants or something like this, and it was just different. Sufis, if you don't know, is a mystical branch of Islam. Some Muslims would say that it's outside. Some people say it's a part. I'm not making any judgments here right now. If they pray 5 times a day, they observe the fast of Ramadan, they believe there's only one God, and they don't put anyone besides God, then that's between them and God. That's all. So I used to listen to this, and this, as I said, I didn't know anything about, it wasn't into the Islam or Muslims, or I didn't know anything, so I was just listening. And as time progressed, I started to become a little bit interested in what it was. There was a man named Nustrat Feteh Ali Khan. Nustrat Feteh Ali Khan. And it was like using, it was kind of sitar music that used, and he was singing, and when you listen, when I listened to him, I could hear soul music. I mean, this was like soul music. You could hear in his voice that he was connecting in a certain way that I found very pleasing, and I was able to also I felt that I could also like partake in that in some way, somehow. It was a very beautiful thing. So this is my mind frame and everything. This is where I was at. So let's see. So then I wanted to check out, well, what is this? What are all these things? So then I started to read. And something else very important is I used to go online, and I used to go to Yahoo Chat. And Yahoo Chat, I used to listen to Islam debate. This is in 2000. This is before 2001. So this is year 2000. So I'm learning about it. I'm listening to the debates from different people, and just listening, asking questions. All the questions that you've heard or you may have, I've already had before. So if you ask, and then I'll try to answer. If I can't answer, we'll find someone that can. What else? Let's see, where was I? So this is part 1. So I try to keep this, it was already 8 minutes. I was gonna try for 5 minutes, but we'll try to do it 10. So part 1. Yes, so I went and I met at the university. I joined a club where I was able to meet international students, because I didn't know any Muslims. And there I met some Muslims, and alhamdulillah, thanks to God, they were able to educate me and answer my questions. And not only did I do with the chat where I could listen to people, I could actually see their manners. They were really well-mannered people. There were people I didn't know. I told you before, you have these stereotypes. So this broke down all my stereotypes. So I really thank Allah for putting all of them in my life. So I was able to meet them and learn from them. And so that is going to be part 1. part 2, I will pick up from that point where I started to actually learn and read more about Islam. And I will talk about a lot of the questions that I had. I will talk about those answers, and I'll talk about what it did for me, how being a Muslim, I was able to find that connection that I had been missing. And not only was I able to find that connection, but I was also able to do it in a very easy way. And there are many Muslims out there that they're raised Muslim and they do the requirements, but they may be they're missing out. Perhaps some of them are missing out on some certain things, and that's this spiritual aspect that is very special. And so I hope I can express something about it that can really open their heart and experience that too. And this is for people that are not Muslim too. So if you're not a Muslim and you're just curious, interested because you hear about it in the news, and just ask those questions anyway. So 11 minutes, and we will try to take a break right there. So inshallah, God willing, next time we'll begin right where I left off, where I started to actually read the Quran. Okay, so thank you very much. I'll say peace to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you.